Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Press Box with C. Will. I am your host today. My name is C. Will, and today we're going to try to dissect last night's game, the tough defeat that the Hogs suffered against the BYU Cougars in Fayetteville last night by a score of 38-31. Now that I had a night to sleep on it, definitely was a tough loss. It was a game that it was a big game, even though it's early, because those type of games set the tone. It gives you momentum going into what you got ahead. And, um, you know, it was a lost opportunity for the Hogs to try to gain some momentum before they open up conference play against the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge Saturday night under the lights, another night game. It's going to be a tough environment. Our first true road game, so we definitely got to be ready. Players definitely have to try to figure out quickly how to digest this tough defeat. Sometimes when you lose like that, when it's sickening, it's tough to forget about. So I'm just hoping that the Hogs can refocus and regroup. Coach Pittman gave them today off, Sunday, and hopefully that helps clearing their mind, bodies, and souls, so they can get ready to work. But it's going to start within themselves, being able to refocus, and everything pretty much is riding on, can they refocus and play a much cleaner style of football. So before we get deeper into this video, just wanted to thank you guys for watching. I wanted to thank the people that have subscribed to our channel. Hopefully we're doing some good things, and we will continue to put out information because that's what we do, and we want to share what we get. But if you like my channel, if you like what we talk about here on the Press Box, go ahead and subscribe so you can be first to get the content as soon as I release it, instead of having to wait days or hours or however long it takes before it gets to your channel or whatever. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and go ahead and give us a like to let us know that we are doing good here with our services here at the Press Box. So we will move forward, and we will take a look at Coach Pittman's post-game interview, or press conference, I should say. Let's get it set up here.
Played extremely hard, and they certainly did. Took care. They took care of the ball a little bit better than us, and they certainly were better in the penalty area. And want to give them credit. They played a good football game, and we've got a lot of things to clean up.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to be classy and give the other team their kudos, their credit. I've always admired that part about Coach Pittman. Definitely a classy thing. But to hear how they defeated us by penalties and taking care of the ball, that had to be tough to say, because that's tough for me to hear. So that basically, says that you beat yourself, and it's tough when you lose like that.
They exposed us a little bit with their pass rush, and not necessarily bringing extra, just with their ends. And
BYU got 4 sacks against us, and they definitely exposed us. We're going to go up against tougher defensive fronts here in the next month. So they're going to look at the film, and it's probably going to continue.
And certainly the penalties, we've got to get a handle on that.
Sam, I know it was fourth and real short, but when you went for it at the 50 there in the third quarter, last week you said the SAM analytics said, not to do that.
Not from the 48, from the 49-yard line, but from I was talking about the 35. I thought we could get it, and I went for it. Obviously, we didn't.
They outscored you 17-zip after that. How much do you think that swung the momentum, maybe?
I really don't know. It's hard to say because, I guess we can say that all the points after that came because of that play, but I know 3 of them came off of that play.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that answer because anybody that was watching the game knows that the fourth down call, if we just would have punted, who cares if it's analytics, whatever. The way that defense was playing last night, they only gave up 282 yards. If you got the ball at your 50, that means you should be able to put them inside their 20 at least, or even closer to their zone. It just don't make sense when you have a 10-point lead to just go for it so much. You know what I mean? I can understand if we're playing against an inferior team, but BYU was kind of like evenly matched, kind of. So, I wouldn't have had a problem just go ahead and punting that and trusting your defense. Your defense played lights out. And the only time they really gave up, besides the first play, the fake pass to the tight end, but they only gave up things when they were in bad positions, whenever we made turnovers, whenever we put them in, whenever the momentum swung, that's when they gave up stuff. So we gotta do better, with that going for it stuff. That's something that if you can't get it on 3 downs, that means that you got to call better plays and you got to execute better. So I'm not a big fan of that going for it. So for him to not acknowledge that it wasn't the best of decision, wasn't the best of play calling, I don't like that because that's not taking accountability. So because if you don't acknowledge things, sometimes they don't get fixed.
I don't know that the other 14 did. I don't know who's to know, but I know 3 of them did.
Sam, you can talk about that final drive. You guys had, I think, 5 penalties on the final drive. I think they accepted 4 of them, though. What was going on? And why do you think the offensive line was having so much trouble?
They were all holding penalties. Well, no, they wasn't. We jumped off sides on one of them as well, but the rest of them were holding penalties. And when Chamblee went down, we'd move Brady out to tackle, and
you can't move. I don't know. He's the offensive line coach. I know football, but I'm not saying I know more than Sam Pittman. But it just seems like to me, if a guy is used to playing inside, you can't put him on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Just not in the middle of a game unless he's played that before. And it kind of makes sense why the lineman Brady, why he was getting all those penalties. Brady Latham, because he moved them to a different position in the middle of a game. Yes, we know that Chamblee went down with an injury, but do you have anybody else on your roster that actually has played the position? But he probably don't have faith in the guy that has played the position because he hasn't played a lot of ball for the Hogs. So, I guess that's a tough decision, when you don't trust a guy that maybe could play, but then you go with a guy that you do trust to figure things out. But as it turns out, I see why he made those penalties. So I'll take some of the blame off of him for that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a fan of just switching guys. That's not, unless you have to, but it's tough to just make a guy, especially on the offensive line, because if you're in the inside, you're used to inside principles. If you're on the outside, you got to have quick feet. You have to be super athletic. You have to use your hands. It's like more technique and athleticism. So Brady Latham looks like to me that he's probably better suited on being on the inside because that's where he's played his whole career.
And we moved Chamblee over to begin with because Kudus had gotten hurt, and then Chamberlain went down. Kudus came back out there, but we weren't moving our feet. We're getting on edge, and they bowled us, a lot of the game. And then when you're setting for a bowl, sometimes you're susceptible for an inside move, and that's what happened.
I mean, he has all the answers, but we're not seeing it on the field. But it makes sense why KJ was under so much pressure, because a guy got hurt on the left side, which that's his blind side. And you moving guys that haven't played there, so they took advantage of that. So it's just tough luck, but I think we have to be better prepared to have a guy that we can roll with. We're in the third week of the season, so I just feel like it's not an excuse, even though I get it, but we have to be better than that.
And then we were holding them.
Defense played, 281 yards, which is surprising with the 38 points. Just your thoughts on, you talked about that fourth down call at midfield. It seemed like you guys had a lot of momentum. Defense is playing well. Do you feel like that was a big momentum swing in the game? Obviously, that seems to be where things kind of turned for you.
Well, I guess I've been asked twice, so I guess the answer is yes. But I did.
See, he don't want to say that it was that we gave the momentum away on his fourth down call. He don't want to say that. But it's obvious the team played different after that call. But his answer was, "Oh, well, since this is the third time I'm asked it, I guess the answer is yes." Come on now. Come on now. I don't mind. Nobody's perfect, but there's no way to get close to perfect if you don't acknowledge. You have to acknowledge, especially when there's fault. And that was a bad decision, as I said before.
We were up 14-0, and they went up 21-0 in the first half, and I don't think it was because we went for it on fourth down. So, I think that they were making third and longs, and we couldn't get them off the field. But if I had to do it again, I wouldn't go for it on fourth down. Obviously, we didn't make it.
Now that was the right answer. It took him all of that to get to that. It's tough to admit when you're wrong, but things get better when you do.
Sam, you talked about the pass pro issues. Just was there anything BYU was doing that surprised you at all, or just kind of what was the issue there?
So yeah, that was basically what I wanted to see, just kind of like what his responses were, to those questions that we all have. These are the same questions that I'm sure that you guys have about the team, as far as the play calling on fourth down and why not run KJ Jefferson. So we're going to take a look at the stats of the game. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I wanted to take a look at these stats so we can take a look at it. Okay, so we got 21 first downs to their 17. Coach Pittman said they had got a lot of third downs. They only got 4 out of 13, so that's not good. They got some big third downs when it mattered most. So to me, that showed me that they were more clutch because they made the plays when it was time. But it wasn't a lot of third downs that they made. And look at us on third down. We're 2 out of 13. But see, when you're not good on third down, that means that you're not getting the most out of your first down plays. On first down, typically, we like to run the ball. Typically, we are a run-happy team. So we're trying to run on first down, but we're not getting the adequate yardage to make third down easier. So third downs are longer now because our running game is not able to control the line of scrimmage on first downs. So my solution to that, because you're not going to be a dominant line this year, probably. My solution to that is that instead of running the ball and being predictable, I think, throwing on first down will not only help the team get yardage, because typically first down is a running down, and defenses are more prepared to stop the run than they are to stop the pass. So you might be able to get 4 or 5 or even more yards to where your second down is manageable. Then your third down may be 5 or 4. Those are easier to pick up rather than your third and nines or your third and eights or more, because you know that they're going to send pressure because they know that we can't protect. So I think in order to help out our offensive line, we gotta be more not predictable. I don't think this is the same team as last year. In fact, we know it's not the same team. Even with Rocket being out, if he was here, I don't think that he would have the type of success as he had last year because of the line. I think that we have to throw more on first down to keep the defense off balance, and that'll help that third down percentage. Total offense 424 to 281. Our defense only gave up 281 yards. So our defense is playing lights out through 3 games. KJ was 24 out of 35, 7.1, one interception, which that was a huge interception because, again, that changed the momentum. That was in our territory, and it was at the wrong times. BYU quarterback, 204, 14 out of 26, 7.8. So, I mean, by the numbers, it don't look like KJ played bad, but he made some bad plays at the wrong times. Rushing, everybody talking about how our offensive line, 177 to 77. We only allowed 2.5 yards per run. We averaged 4.5. You can win with that. So our offensive production, 424 to 281, is we should have won the game. Uh-oh, here we go. Penalties, 14 for 125, 7 on BYU for 45. Well, there you go. Penalties are mental mistakes. 2 turnovers by us, and one of ours was super critical. Time of possession, we controlled the clock. How did we lose that game? I don't know. The only thing that I could see is that when it mattered most, when the game got late, BYU got stronger. BYU got more tougher. They were controlling the line of scrimmage. They was able to run the ball a little bit more, a little better. When it mattered, they made plays and we choked. We shrunk. And that's a mentality thing. That's a confidence thing. And where do players get their confidence if they don't already just possess it? Your coach. I don't know if you guys seen the video last week when we played against Kent State, where they were in the locker room. I think it's a YouTube short. If you guys pull it up, Sam Pittman after the Kent State game, a win is a win. A win is a damn win. So he was on camera telling his guys that a win is a damn win. But no, it's not when you playing against a team that you're supposed to win by 38. No, it's not. It's not. And I think that when you are always easy on your guys, I think that mentality, it trickles. You have to be hard on your guys. I'm not saying treat them inhumanely, but I don't believe that Nick Saban or Kirby Smart would have said that after a lackluster performance. So the mentality has to change. Arkansas, they may not be the most talented team in the SEC, but through past years, I mean, we've had what's his name? Treylon Burks was a first-round pick. Drew Sanders was a second-round pick. These guys are starting. I mean, Arkansas has had talent over the last 2 or 3 years. They got talent now. So it's not a talent thing. It's not a talented team. BYU was not more talented than us. They were as talented as us, but they wasn't more talented than us. So what is it? Why do we keep having these type of performances on the big stage, and especially at home? I can't figure that out. As I said before, the facilities in Razorback Stadium are top notch. Any coach would want to coach at the University of Arkansas because of the facilities. And, you know, we have all the you know, the pep rallies, the hog walks. I mean, all the team and player adoration that the fans give them. That may be the problem, because I think guys are feeling themselves too much and they're not getting the job done. They're not focusing in on the main ideal is to win games, not to, you know, to be, you know, feeling yourself because they're celebrating you. And I think that the fans are not, you know, the program is here, and the production of the football team is low, is here, you know. So it's time for our football team to catch up. Our fans are terrific, the best fans in the nation. When we call the Hogs, it's nothing like it. We deserve more as fans. And I don't know if Coach Pittman is going to be the guy to give us more, period. So, I mean, I like him. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's done great things, but can you get us to the next level? There's another level that we have to get to. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And I hate to say that, but I'm just being honest. I'm not sure if we're going to get there. Since we won those 9 wins, I'm gonna conclude my whole video with this point. Since we had the 9-win season in 2021, where we went 9-4 and beat Penn State in the bowl game, we have gone 9-7 over the last 16. That's a little bit better than 500 football. So we can talk about what he's done in the past, but over the last 16 games, we've been very average. So it's something to think about. So remember to subscribe to this channel, Razorback fans. This is our channel. This channel is for us. So go ahead and subscribe to it so you can be the first to get that that published content, you know, hot off the press. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and stay tuned for the next production of our next show tomorrow. My name is C. Will, and thank you for viewing the Press Box. Until the next time, go Hogs.